What up, everybody? I hope everybody's safe. In this episode, Erwin and I talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. We discuss whether or not the story was kind of messy. I mean, there were a lot of themes going on in Final Fantasy, so in this episode, Erwin and I just break it down and try to navigate through it. Like, was Final Fantasy about environmental terrorism, or was it about a crazy cult? Who knows? Well, that's what we're going to explore. All right, enjoy. Actually, I kept thinking about this ever since talking to Drew, because Drew asked me. I'm not sure if you were there, but Drew asked me. He's like, for someone who loves like Muji aesthetics, you dress very loud. Like, but he didn't mean that to be rude. He meant it as like he was just wondering like what the dichotomy between that was. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. Like, and like that's a fair statement. Like, I like to dress loud, but um, when I'm at home, I like my shit nice and quiet and peaceful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of like have the peace at home, but have the chaos outside of home.
that sounds tight. That's like a that's a LinkedIn quote.
Shut the fuck
You
up!
could put that shit on your LinkedIn. That sounds tight.
Like chaos in the streets, calm in the sheets.
Calm like a downy ball. Get the fuck out.
Shut the fuck! Calm like a downy ball. I smell great and I'm soft. Anyways,
uh,
I actually
yeah.
didn't prepare much for this episode, so I will be asking a lot of questions.
Well, it's all good. I barely prepared. I just was reading a couple weeks ago, but
You're reading.
well, I was just reading about our topic, and so this is kind of this episode's a little bit a deep dive into one specific nerd topic. Um, this is what Final Fantasy VII really means.
Oh my gosh! I thought we were doing on Parasite.
Dude, we said Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I haven't finished watching Parasite yet. I am sorry.
We talked about this. I don't have a stream to it, so we said Final Fantasy.
Okay, got it. That works. I actually know more about this topic now. Let's
Well,
go. This is
well,
good. We can talk about Parasite in the next episode.
we can do Parasite next
I
episode.
was like hella stressing out. I was like, "Fuck, dude, this movie's 2 hours long. I have to sit down and watch."
I need to find a stream or something.
It's on Amazon now.
Is it?
It's on
Let
Hulu.
me check it.
You can
But
actually
yeah, I
find anything.
was.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So what Final Fantasy VII really means?
Well, I mean, it's also because Final Fantasy VII, they just dropped the demo for the remake.
Right. I've been hearing good things about it.
I haven't got a chance to download my PS4 is all the spacing is all fucked up because of Call of Duty. Uh, I have like every time they update it, it takes like 80 plus gigs of space, and I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Do you think there's gonna be a point when um everything's just gonna go on PC? Because like the new PS5 and a new Xbox, whatever X series, Xbox X class, I don't know what the hell it's called. It's a PC. It's a mini tower. Like that's the new
Oh,
system now.
for real, the new Xbox is a tower, basically.
Yeah, it's basically a mini tower. Yeah,
Huh. I didn't know that.
and they're using like more computer graphics, like using AMD chips and shit like that. So it's very interesting. I'm like, huh, okay, I could see where this is going now.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think just for the price point, um, and the way that the people are kind of like how mass consumers consume like video games, I don't know if PCs are going to be like the ultimate takeaway. I think there's just the market's so like not there to drop like a G for like a really good gaming platform computer.
Correct.
They're more than willing to to do like 300, 400 for a console.
Which is a lot more accessible. Yeah, no,
A lot
definitely,
more
definitely.
accessible, and you don't have to keep updating graphics and all that because the game developers are and the industries are it's just gonna they're gonna cater to the console versus like each year you got to buy something new for your gaming computer, to get the upper hand or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And it's like crazy because now you see like so much cross platforms. That's why like it didn't like when back then like before I really got into Steam,
Mm-hmm.
um, I never understood cross platform. Like what was so crazy about it? I'm like I don't get it. And then there were games like oh it's exclusively for the PS4 or exclusively for the Xbox, and I was like, why would you do that? Like it doesn't make sense to me. But now I get it because Steam is like the new. That's where the games are going now. It's crazy because my PC does not lag when I'm playing like a really graphic intensive game compared to my PS4 where it would just kind of lag a little bit.
On the newer games or
Yeah, well, I was actually just playing. I'm just comparing to Bloodborne or something like that,
mm-hmm.
or I was playing Sekiro, and I was like, huh, like it does not lag with the highest settings on my computer. And this computer I've had for like a really long time. I've just been like updating parts from here and there. So it's kind of like maybe I am buying a PlayStation like every new model or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's just interesting, I guess. I guess it makes sense. You can have consoles because people just people are casual gamers, so they just want
Yeah,
to
the
game
casual
casually.
gamer for
Yeah,
sure. Just like I don't know, like how
like you are.
yeah, but like I know it's a little side topic here, so but I think that when it comes to video game platforms, how I don't say like iPads killed like handheld, but I think we're at a point where like phone gaming is
Hmm.
killed how like remember the PS Vita, um what was the other Nintendo one before the Switch?
Before the Switch, it
The
was like
Wii?
no,
No, that wasn't
not the
handheld.
Wii U. The Wii U is really bad. Like even like the Game Boy Advances and stuff like that.
Cause what like was the Sony PSP and the Vita, was that the last true like handheld?
I
I
would
mean,
say so. Other than the 3DS, yeah.
oh yeah, 3DS, but yeah.
Yeah, 3DS is kind of like whatever.
Well, cause I mean, like also, like Nintendo's just like the king of like handheld. Like that was just
Oh,
like
without a
first.
doubt. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it comes down to like whatever. But yeah, I think I think what I'm trying to get at is that um, the way that mobile gaming, like the entry level is like for the casual gamer, it's like that's the future. It's hard to like in the next gen of like whatever Nintendo comes up with, like the next Switch or whatever. I just wanted like, how do you, what are you gonna create to kind of keep that going? It's just
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. I just looked it up right now. Final Fantasy 7 is a PS4 exclusive, so you can't get that on Steam. Fuck.
Oh, ooh.
I know, just like
Like what's the best game on Steam right now?
on Steam, probably
Yeah.
right now. Currently, is probably Monster Hunter.
Oh, that's on Steam.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like it's sick. Um, PUBG's also a really big game.
Yeah, PUBG for sure.
Yeah, just that's it. Like, mm, oh, of course, Half Life. They like the new Half Life stuff is going to Steam, but that's
Half Life, Counter Strike, yeah. But
yeah, but it's all Steam. Like regardless, so it's all Valve. Anyways, let's move on to talking about Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy 7, not Parasite, because I haven't fucking watched Parasite yet.
Not gonna lie, I was like really panicking. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just let you. chill on this topic.
I'm like,
Okay,
nah,
cool.
not this time.
Like Final Fantasy 7, I can talk about. That's
Well,
I
yeah.
was really into it.
So just to recap, Final Fantasy
Oh,
Seven
recap.
is no, like Final Fantasy Seven. The reason why we were brainstorming came up on this was that the remake is coming out the first time since what 1997, 1998.
Yeah, since its release, yeah.
Yeah, on PS1. So now on PS4, and they've made a demo, and it's just kind of bringing back like everything because the way that they remade it, the demo, it just looks amazing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
it
it's
looks like go ahead.
good. No, good, good, good.
No, I'm saying it looks way better. Like obviously, in 20 years, the graphics are gonna get better.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean?
So it's just a matter of like, well, when we're brainstorming this episode, we're like, well, what was Final Fantasy VII even about?
Right, like, because during that time, it was so revolutionary. It was considered one of the best like PlayStation games of all time. Which, to be a little nerdy, Suikoden 2 also came out during that time, and people
Mm-hmm.
regard that as one of the best RPGs of all time. So, it was two different classes of like RPGs, and both were really good. But definitely, Final Fantasy 7 was a lot more mainstream, and
Yes.
I think it was one of the first Final Fantasies to have like a full. No, it is the first Final Fantasy to have all 3D. So that's what made it so like crazy too. And the game was long and whatnot.
Yeah,
And
and the cutscenes, like
oh
that
yeah,
was like,
all
that was,
cinematic or
yeah, the first
cinematic.
time, yeah, all the first time they did cinematics for RPGs, so that was kind of like groundbreaking, and it was like, yeah, obviously something you never seen before.
Yeah, the production on Final Fantasy 7 was one of the most amazing things ever. Like that's what pushed it. But since it being one of the most popular, they decided to remake it. I remember reading an article that the three original people who did Final Fantasy 7 said like, while we're still alive, we should work on Final Fantasy 7 remake because this is our baby kind of thing, you know?
Well, yeah, because even when they did what do you call it? When they wait, is this the first time they remade a Final Fantasy?
No, they remade so many, but not at this scale. Like not where it's to the point where it feels like a different game.
Like they did 1 and 2, I remember that.
They did up to six, yeah. They remade six first, I think, because six is one of the best Final Fantasies, also. So they remade six, but not, but like it's kind of like an updated graphics version versus Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's like, oh, we're just gonna use what we've been doing with Final Fantasy 13 or something and put it and use Final Fantasy 7 story. You know what I mean? Like it's not just an updated graphics version. It's a totally new game using Final Fantasy 7 story.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay.
So that I think this is like a true remake kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I mean like they've built like the after I mean like the epilogue of all the titles after Final Fantasy VII, right? So there was like they did what like a OVA. They've done like
Oh, for Final Fantasy 7?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Remember
Final Fantasy
Evan?
7 is such a big
Yeah.
what do you call that franchise?
Like
Yeah,
Advent
Advent Children.
Children, and then the two PSP titles, right?
Before Crisis and Crisis Core, and then Dirge of Cerberus. Yeah, so they had quite a few games.
Yeah, so like they for sure like over time they've invested in just the storyline of Final Fantasy VII.
And they tried to
So
do that with the most
mhm.
recent Final Fantasy too. Like they expanded like the whole world of it. Did you play the one with lightning?
Oh yeah, I didn't,
That was like
dude.
four games, three or
I
four
couldn't get
games. Yeah,
through Final Fantasy 16. I didn't get through all of it.
was it 16? I forget which one it is. I said 13, but I might be
I
wrong.
don't know. I don't know where the fuck we're at.
How many Final Fantasies? Yeah, like I tried playing 15, 16. 15. I'm gonna say it's 14. I think it's 14.
How
Let me
many
just look it
Final
up real quick.
Fantasies? Yeah, I feel like I need to fact check this. Sounds stupid.
No, 14 is the online game.
15 was the last with lightning.
No, this one's with Noxus. Okay, 15 is the last one. 13 is the lightning one, but 13 and
Oh,
15,
Noctis. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
13 and 15 are supposed to be in the same world, but they just have it its own game. Okay, anyways, yeah. So they really like they're really I noticed Square has been trying to like develop worlds. Like that's their new jam.
Mm-hmm.
They did a 13 or yeah, 13,
Mm-hmm.
15, 7, and yeah, and I think they're just still riding up on that hype. And but so when I was watching the trailer to Final Fantasy 7, like the new prologue, there's a lot of things like they mentioned that weren't mentioned in like the original. Like Shinra talked about how they're still battling Wutai, which is a side story in Final Fantasy 7. It's Yuffie's story.
Oh
But then like
yeah.
yeah, so they are saying like, oh yeah, we're still enemies of Wutai. And then I was like, I think it's Wutai. I don't know if I can check
No, I
myself
think
later.
you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. But then like Wutai's story plot was like a side story, so it was never part of the main story. So it's now like they're incorporating um Wutai into the main story now. So it was like something I noticed, like it was like a quick 5-second thing. They're like blah 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 Wutai. I was like, what? You guys mentioned Wutai? That's crazy. I didn't even know about that. But yeah. So if you played that story, you would understand like they went to war back then. I was like, oh, interesting.
See, that's the thing. Okay, and I know this is part of the episode, but I really forgot like the base story of like everything because it's like 3 fucking discs, right?
4.
No, it was 3, right?
You're right, it
Four
is 3,
four
sorry.
was 8.
I think yes, you're right. It is.
So like I remember I was like when I was trying to like find out like okay I just need like a plot summary of like what happened between Midgar until the end, and I'm like, oh, this shit is all fucked up. This
Yeah,
makes no sense.
so we're here to dissect Final Fantasy 7, basically. This is what the episode is.
Yes.
Instead. And there's a lot of themes that happen in Final Fantasy 7. What I really like, I said this first, and Erwin didn't believe me, but I said Final Fantasy 7 is about like environmentalism. And you highly disagreed. I mean, I can see,
I mean,
I can see why, but
because I don't think it's not. I think that it's no. Go on, just finish your argument about environmentalism.
oh, okay, so sure. So I think it's about environmentalism. One Shinra is a energy company, and I'm trying to remember if there was like an energy incident in Japan that could have inspired Final Fantasy 7. But basically, I read this also in like a Legend of Zelda thing too. But like the Mako energy thing is
Mm-hmm.
basically sapping out life force from the Earth, and that's why the world, like if you see when you first leave Midgard in Final Fantasy 7, the land around it is bare, like it's destroyed. But the
Mm-hmm.
moment like you leave that circle, like it's green again.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, you could the one that Shinra controls energy. Energy is like harming the planet. It's also very toxic to people. That's why they turn into monsters and shit.
Yeah, the Mako.
Yeah, and this is like even not even related to the whole Genova thing. That's a whole separate thing. But yeah, so the life force is, I don't know, you could say like that's like the spirit of the world. And when that comet was like about to destroy the world, the life force it saved everybody. I think it's
Yeah. Yes.
heavily on like environmentalism, but there's so many like sub stories that happens within Final Fantasy 7 also.
No, because like okay, like I get that, and the whole like intro because of like they're literally environmental terrorists.
Yeah, man, it's just Green
like
New Deal terrorists going crazy.
like Avalanche is just like environmental terrorists. They're just gonna blow up the Mako reactor.
Yeah, they're just
Um,
they're like
yeah,
AOC,
but
AOC, AOC. Just kidding.
no, but it like it's just like that piece is so small compared to just like the whole idea of like Sephiroth being like um the like an ancient DNA. Like it's all fucked up. Like and then him believing like like a false god and shit like what? It like this is to me the idea of building this religion and having like the ancient people and like Eris is the last ancient person. Like it just
Hmm.
doesn't to me obviously it doesn't make any sense. Like you have to buy into it. I get that. But um it's just like it's like shitty religion.
Yeah, it's a
it's like
cult. Yeah, it's pretty
it's
much
like
a cult.
shitty
Yeah.
religions and in cohorts with the fucking with the corporations, which is Shinra.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand like how Shinra is really involved with Genova other than um experimenting on her body. Oh, that's right. They were trying to create super soldiers using her cells. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like military expansionism using like a foreign
Well, even
substance.
like I when I was looking up like the wiki or like the on Reddit, like I kind of forgot how like Cloud basically Don Draper Zack like he's like my friend's dead. I'm assuming his identity. Like what what? Do you think people would notice?
Well, Eris noticed. Remember, she was like she says that's why she was like so close to Cloud. It's like, oh, this dude's like very similar to like the person who stole his identity. So yeah, basically, Cloud in their village, he attacks Sephiroth, and then like he went, I guess, brain dead or something like that. Like between that whole incident with like Cloud, Sephiroth, and Zack, Sephiroth kills Zack or something like that, or like injures Zack completely. And then Cloud saves them. He gets hurt in the process. Hojo takes the bodies, experiments on them. I think that's when he starts injecting like Genova cells into all of them or whatever.
Uh huh.
And then Cloud kind of goes like semi coma, like semi vegetable state, and he takes Cloud, and those two like try to run to Midgar, and the Shinra soldiers catch up with them, and they execute uh what's his name,
Zack.
Zack, and
See,
during
I
that
remember
weird
that.
yeah, in that weird like vegetarian state, Cloud's memories are super mixed up. Like he still remembers Tifa, but he just kind of like mixes up everything in between the middle. That's it, and like that's his story. So he just assumes like, oh yeah, I'm Zack. I never had a buddy named Zack. I'm Zack.
I'm Super Soldier.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not sure if that's just like the genoma cells like fucking with them or not, but yeah, that's that's Cloud's story. That's TLDR Cloud's story.
Yeah. So I mean, like that. Like I don't know. I need to play the game again. Like I'm pretty excited and stoked to to get back into Final Fantasy VII. Like
I know, right?
I haven't gotten into RPGs in a long time, and I'm pretty excited to play Final Fantasy VII again.
It's all nostalgic too, right?
Yeah, it's nostalgic, and I think that because it's been teased for like 3 consoles, right? Like
So many years, yeah. Like you should. Ever since Advent Children came out, they're like, "Are you gonna do Final Fantasy VII remake?" Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I think this is the best time to do it too.
well, because even wasn't was it the PS3 they did when they did the unveiling for the PS3 they used the Final Fantasy VII uh
Intro,
as the intro, right? For the
yeah.
they're like, oh shit, they're gonna do it, right?
And they're like, "Nah, this is test
No.
purposes." And
So I mean,
I don't
yeah.
blame them. I think that was actually a smart move. They should have just waited till PS4. Graphics are better. That's what I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I think now would have like. Do you think that um because of the gaming engine PS4 um it just wouldn't have worked if you did PS3? Is that what you're saying?
Probably because even if you compare like graphics from like PS3 to PS4, they're drastically different. Um, Yeah, I still think it was a really really smart move to like hold off until PS4. I think you're right. The engine, just the technology, just gets better. In a way, I kind of feel like, could we do better than this? Like, I think right now it's going to be focusing on um, what do you call that? VR games instead,
Yeah,
because the graphics
because
right now are great. It's just VR needs help.
what's gonna happen is then the next remake is gonna be you're gonna play Cloud.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so weird. But then like. No, like oh god, like I would imagine that'd be super weird. I'll be so much like anxiety playing that game 'cause you're running from shit. The thing's about to explode around you. Like
No,
taking the first,
imagine, yeah,
yeah,
because
like oh I'm
imagine
gonna set
if
up a
you,
bomb first, and I'm like oh fuck, I gotta get out,
like, imagine like you having flashbacks to you being Zack
dude. That
and
would be
Cloud,
so
like that would freak out, right?
trippy.
At the
Yeah,
same time,
yeah. Your screen just starts flickering. It's like oh
and
shit.
then you just see Sephiroth's face every time, like you freak out. Like, oh shit, where am I?
I think it's a terror game at that point, man. That would fuck with people's heads while playing that game. Holy shit. That'd be dope, but I hope not. Um, I could only imagine like something like a Witcher or one of those other free roaming RPGs to be like on a VR set next. That seems to make more sense to me.
Like, just to go back, I and bringing up Shinra and Yuffie, like I
Yeah,
wonder how much the other, like, um, like this. Do you think that means that you're gonna be able to get the secret characters
they're gonna be part of the main story.
faster?
Yeah,
Like you're gonna get Vincent faster, you can get Yuffie faster.
right, right, and you can get them like the moment you kind of cross their territories too. Like you get Yuffie in the forest like after or before heading to Golden Saucer, so you can get her really early. You get her before you fight the Turks in the junkyard. I don't know why I still remember this.
You are. This is an amazing. I think we should just have you explain everything because I'm like, holy shit! You remember to a T how to.
Recruiter, yeah, you get in the forest, you fight her there. I remember, and
Because
then yeah,
I
you get
kind of forget how
Vincent.
you get Vincent. Like you have to go down into the crypt and he's in the fucking like basement. But I like, what is it? I forget how you get that.
There's something you have to trigger because he'll like every time you keep disrupting him, he's like, "No, go away, go away, go away." I'm not sure if you have to talk to somebody or you have to like find an item, but it will prompt Vincent to be like, "Okay, whatever, I'll join you." That's all I remember when you go down to the basement. But yeah, so that's how you get those. But then now they're canon because of Advent Children and stuff like that. Like you kind of and they're just Cerebus. So now in a way they're kind of forced to put those characters into the story, which is good. They're good characters. But yeah, so what else do you think Final Fantasy VII is about? So I think one big theme they hit on is environmentalism.
Hmm.
Um, Probably something a bit culty because Genova was a alien life form that crash landed on the planet and just wanted to. Did she want to destroy it? I forget what Genova's like main motive was, but it was her cells they used to create super soldiers, but it didn't go exactly as planned, and Sephiroth just went kind of culty, like he just went insane in his own
Well,
way.
but wasn't that because of like the Genova cells? He went insane. I
I
forget how that.
so Sephiroth was a child of Hojo and Lucretia or Lucentia or something like that. Yeah, he was injected with those cells.
Hmm.
Yeah, and for him to like find out like he was injected by the cells and they're doing like and figure out reading the ancient people's texts and learning about like the life species known as Genova. I think that kind of just drove him totally. Um, what's his name? Who's a conspiracy theory guy again? Your gay frogs one. Well, anyways, basically, Sephiroth just like you give him a book, a library, and like active imagination, and he just makes
Bro, your
conspiracy
brain,
theories.
my brain is blown. I'm like, I'm so like shocked. You remember so much. Like,
I
I'm
know
like,
I haven't even played the game in such a long time. Like I
I'm
haven't
like,
read any wiki since we talked about it or anything like that. So I'm so confused. Like I said,
no,
like I'm going off like Parasite right now.
that's what I'm saying. Is like you're asking me these. Like, I'm like, I'm still like, what? How did you remember this detail? Like,
So yeah, it is a bit culty, and Sephiroth created that cult, kind of in a way. Yeah, he made that cult.
so he okay, because then he made the cult of like the children of uh Genova, right? Like
Yeah, because they
that's
all had cells.
silver. Yeah, the silver hair bullshit. Yeah, I remember that.
The what?
The silver, like every child of Genova had silver hair. I remember that.
I think so. I think so. I think you're right.
Or like whoever had the cells.
Right. That would be in the yeah. They would eventually have silver hair. Yeah. You're right. You're right. But Cloud
In my
never had.
brain, fuck.
No, yeah, no. Cloud was just infected by Mako stuff. I don't think he was infected by.
Because didn't they just will like he fell into the fucking like earthquake? Like he fell into the river, like
Right,
the
and
Earth River.
yeah, and this whole time, like when you think it's Sephiroth, it's really Genova or something like that because Sephiroth's body was in the northern crater, frozen the entire time. So, like in a whole game, you're not really fighting Sephiroth; you're fighting Genova, who assumed a form of Sephiroth or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that because you're
Yeah,
like, whoa,
like what? Like I
he's
remember,
here, but
yeah,
he's not here.
as a kid, I was like, "This is fucking with my head. Like, how is he frozen this whole time?" So yeah, that's where I'm kind of shaky on the details. I do remember that though.
The other thing I'm shaky about is like how you get Red 13. Like that's the one I'm like, you go.
You find him in the Shinra thing, and so when you go to rescue Eris in the very first game, or first part of the game, when you're still in Midgard, Red 13 is locked up with you guys.
Yes,
That's
you're
it.
right.
So
Yep,
you just
now I
free him, and he's
remember.
like, "Oh,
Now
it's
I
a talking
remember.
dog." He's like,
Yep.
"Yep."
I'm just mixing it up with Cosmo Canyon. Like I'm like that's
Oh,
where you get.
he is from Cosmo
That's where
Canyon.
you yeah, because that's where he's from. But
Yeah,
that's where you get what summon? It's Bahamut
I
or
va-
Bahamut Zero or something like that.
maybe Bahamut Zero. I know you get the black materia in that area later. I think it's Bahamut Zero because it has to do something with Celestial. Not too sure. I do remember you can get Bahamut pretty early in the game though. Huh.
Yes.
Interesting. I don't remember where you can Bahamut.
Like I always freak out. Like, oh, you get like Bahamut, or like Bahamut, Neo
Bahamut,
Bahamut, and then
Bahamut
Bahamut
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, those are crazy. You know, the first time I beat the game, I didn't get Knights of the Round Table. Anyways.
It took me a long ass time to get the fucking gold chocobo. Like I just that was a pain in the ass.
S-
I can tell you that.
when I was a kid, I sped played Final Fantasy 7, and then
Like you beat the game with like the least amount. Is
yeah,
that what you did?
so yeah, I didn't even know about because my brother's a completionist. So
Okay.
he told me like, "Oh, you can farm your chocobo." I'm like, "No, I just won my races and that's it. Like I didn't care about anything." It's like, "Yeah, you can get this like ultimate summon." I was like, "For real?" And like the second time I played the game, that's when I got everything 100%.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, I tried to beat it. I think the one of the summers in middle school when I tried to beat it, I couldn't beat it like the first time because I got stuck because I couldn't get Knights of the Round because I would die each time on this the second battle of Genova. Like that shit fucked
the
me
very
up.
final boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit fucked me up. I was like, I can't.
Like I need a cheat code to win. I need Knights
Like
of the
there's
Round
there's no
Table.
way. Yeah, there's no way. And I think because by the time you're in the crater at that point, like I had all my heals was just all my healing materia was on Tifa. So when you have to switch to your second team, you're like, oh fuck, dude! Like I had no, like I had no healing materia. I'm like, because my main was always like by the disc 3 was Cloud, Tifa, Vincent,
Uh-huh.
and then the other team I just didn't give a fuck about. So by the time
They're
it
all
was
weak and
like,
shit.
I was like, fucking Barrett, Sid, and maybe
Red 13.
yeah, and it's like,
The bro
oh,
group.
this is a terrible idea. This is so yeah. That's how I feel. Like I need Knights of the Round Table, and I need to balance it out and level up my shitty characters. So
Yeah, I remember playing that game. I didn't even get like everybody's final limit break. I got the one you could get through leveling, but that's about it. I never got the final limit break my first time I played it. Because like my brother's like, "Did you get Omni Slash?" I'm like, "What the fuck is Omni Slash?"
that was tight. That's tight. It's
That
tight.
is tight.
I think Omni Slash Omni Slash when they shown it in Advent Children, that kind of like, oh, that's super tight.
Yeah, the battles with like 8 different weapons though.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was sick when they animated it. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, Cloud's crazy." Oh my god.
Uh, yeah. I mean, obviously you can tell we're excited to have Final Fantasy VII back.
Yes, I am getting more
Obviously,
excited talking about it now. Yes, and it's gonna
yeah,
be an action game
and it
now
just
too, so that's gonna be interesting.
yeah. Because it like I will say because of like the turn-based system from like 7 and 10. I no 7, 9, and 10. Well, I forget if 8 was turn-based
What about the turn-based
because
system?
I would no because with turn-based system I would actually just basically use it as a pause.
Oh, when you have to
So
like
I would
sit
like
and think.
eat dinner, or no, I would go
I
like
would do that
go
too.
out, have dinner, go on
Yeah,
the
and then you come
internet
back
for
like,
the
all right, six
FAQ,
still
a
on.
walkthrough.
PlayStation disc is still running. Let's go. I've done that.
So I mean that's yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Um.
Different generation gamers.
Hmm.
That's just what it is. I think it's just trying to reintroduce. Maybe it's like a way for SquareSoft to like reintroduce new fans into the Final Fantasy franchise with this new generation. Like, oh, to show you what
Yeah,
made this
and
game
that
sick.
it's a really good way.
In a
Yeah, I
really, really good
think.
way. Like, if my nephew start playing it, I'd be like, I played the original G. I'm gonna spoil everything for you while you're playing it. Just kidding.
Eris dies, bro.
Like
Don't
Aaron,
level.
yeah, don't level her. It's a waste of time. Even if you can get her final limit break, don't get it. It's not worth it.
Waste of time. No, I mean, I I will say I remember. Was it disc 1 or 2 when she died?
Disc one.
Disc
End of disc
this
one. Yeah.
because I was like, oh, all my healing material was on there. I'm like, oh great. I guess it's Tifa's turn to heal. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is useless.
Nice. So, what do you think? So let's just kind of like break down some elements of Final Fantasy VII. So we got environmentalism, we got
Mm-hmm.
a cult, um,
Colt.
we got I guess environmental terrorists too. So that's like one thing I didn't actually think about. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. They are considered like environmental terrorists.
Well, I think um going off of like what I was saying about like just culty shitty religions is like the corporate like greed and cop out to all this and how like Shinra and the Turks were all like in cahoots and um they obviously didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, because they're essentially running like their story, Sephiroth's story, and like Cloud's story. Like they're 3 different stories taking place. Like one's a business, one's a cult, and
Hmm.
one's just I don't know what to. You know, now that I think about like what was Cloud's main? Oh, just stopping Sephiroth. That's it.
Yeah, because he knew how badass like he like or not badass, but Sephiroth was just the bad guy.
Yeah,
So he was like, "You fucking killed Tifa." Or no, I'm sorry, Eris.
you.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No, but even like before getting to Eris, like after they leave Midgard, like and you're like, oh, Sephiroth's still alive, and Cloud's like, I need to go after Sephiroth. It's like, oh, why?
Well, because remember, like in Nibelheim, like that's like I think that
That's the
because wasn't
city.
that like part of like their backstory? Like he killed everybody, or Sephiroth killed everybody in Nibelheim, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And like and he fucked. It's all becoming a blur again.
Okay, so he killed everybody, but like, even if he did kill everybody, um, because I remember Cloud talks about his story to the rest of Avalanche or the remaining members, and they're like, "So what's your story with Sephiroth?" And he's like, "Well, this is my story. I'm really like a Shinra soldier and blah blah blah." Blah. But anyways, and like during that time, like Tifa didn't correct him. Remember, she was like saying dot 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 the entire time to him because she knew he was lying.
Holy shit, you are very like this is very very detailed.
Oh,
I'm very proud of you.
yeah. So if you play like the first part, um, during Cloud's story, Tifa doesn't say anything. She just says dot dot dot. She just crosses her arms like dot dot dot, and that's why she keeps saying like, "Do you actually remember? Like this is what really happened?" Like she's like, "This didn't happen," like or that didn't happen. He's like, "Fool, you weren't there the entire time." But he's like, "Actually, I was there. I was the grunt in that one the whole time. I was so ashamed to show my face because I never made it to
Oh,
soldier." Do you remember that part? Because if you talk to one of the soldiers next, who was supposed to be Cloud, like he's always talking about how
uh-huh.
nervous he is. He's like, I'm like, oh, I'm really nervous. So like, I hope no one notices me and stuff like that. Because that's Cloud. He was
Oh,
ashamed of.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I remember that. I remember that now.
yeah. He was like, oh, I'm ashamed of who I am. That's why I didn't want to. That's why I wear a mask here. That's why Tifa was like, but you were never there. But that's why like, why is Cloud's memory so good, but he wasn't there? Like at least that's Tifa's like perspective. But for Cloud, he just mixed up the two memories together. So yeah.
Huh. Huh.
Why did I go off on that tangent again? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So that's what I was
Uh
like so curious about. Why what prompted Cloud's journey from Midgar to the ancients, I guess, or to the ancient village or ancient city or whatever. I guess is like not only to find out more about Eris and save her, but it's also to like
I think
I
dude,
guess
yeah, I
take
think we're gonna have
revenge
to
on.
like re- replay again cuz I'm like I honestly forgot the motivation. Like I just remember like from my recollection like Cloud was uh
He's just angry at Sephiroth.
yeah, the grunt. Yeah, he's just fucking angry and then maybe it is part of like the Genova cells. I
True,
just
yeah, that's right. Because they all want to reunite with Sephiroth. That's the goal is to go back to Sephiroth, go back to the Northern Crater. So yeah, I guess maybe subconsciously he's going to the Northern Crater while also trying to kill Sephiroth. I guess. Oh, that's weird. So like I'm thinking about it now. When Genova escapes from her cell in Final Fantasy VII, like it's like a headless body just moving around.
yes.
That is creepy.
That's why like those parts with Genova always creeps me out.
He always played that weird music with it too.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't like it was very uncomfortable. And when they did the cutscenes, I'm like, oh god, this is creepy.
Oh yeah, it's like at first I didn't know what it was when they first showed Genova. Like she's headless. I'm like can't even tell what her body was. But now that I'm older, I see it. I'm like, oh, her eyeballs are a boob. Got it. That that's that's what my middle school memory said.
I'm telling you, man, you have like really great memory when it like comes to Final Fantasy VII. Like, like I'm just like I don't remember all this. I feel like I'm Cloud. I'm like, how the fuck do you know all this?
I'm the deepest ear cloud.
How the fuck are you knowing all this?
Like, why don't you know all this? I'm just kidding.
Like I also wonder how I know it's like the stupid characters like Kate Sith. Like how is this gonna play out in the video game?
What do you mean with his story?
Yeah, like Reese, whatever his name is.
Reeves, yeah, yeah. He was spying. No, he was just spying on Cloud's gang. That's it. And then eventually, he just grew to like him. That's his story, pretty much, in a nutshell.
Yep, forgot about this.
Oh yeah, Queso's story is not that. It's not that nuts. He was just an insider spying for Shinra. That's
I
it.
he, Kate Sith was also just a trash character. I didn't play. I didn't use him in my team a lot.
Oh, I used him. I was a big
Uh,
Mughal fan back then, so yeah. His his limit break was trash though. It was fucking dice that just multiplied damage. It was so bad. If you remember that.
no, like I'm saying, you're telling me these details. Like there's like very like stat heavy details. I'm like, holy shit, I don't remember. I just remember like the classes they kind of all represented. Like, uh, Tifa was the monk. Uh, uh, was Kate Sith the blue mage?
mm, I
Or-
believe so. Or he's considered the dragoon.
I thought that was Sid because he was like
Oh, Kate Sith.
he
Kate
had
Sith. Sorry, I mixed. I heard
no
Sid.
worries.
Kate Sith. I think he would be the blue mage. Yeah, you're right. He would be the blue
Because
mage.
then yeah, Kate Sith was supposed to be the jump knight.
Mm-hmm. The dragoon. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dragoon,
I'm not sure
and
Red 13
then
was the mage. Was he?
he might be because I don't think was Barrett. I don't know what Barrett was. He was just kind of like a new thing, right?
Yeah, I guess he would be in the archer class, right? Because you put him in the back row.
But I thought that was Vincent because Vincent had the guns.
Vincent was not only did he have guns, but he was a remember his limit break was changing forms to a demon that you couldn't control.
Oh, he was a berserker.
Yeah, he was a berserker. And then yeah, Cloud's your swordsman. Eris is your white mage. Maybe Red 13 was your black mage.
Then Yuffie was the ninja,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yuffie was a ninja. I think that's all the characters. Or it could have been Kate Sith. That was the red mage. I'm not sure. Oh shit.
I don't know at this point.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're getting way too like weedy about it.
We're getting in the weeds. But yeah, I think going back to like the plot line, the storyline, I think Final Fantasy VII, um, it's it's good. It's great that it's being talked about again in an actual playing like game.
Right.
We're not talking about it like a movie. We're not talking about it like a sequel. It's actual like they redid the whole thing, new mechanics. That's very exciting.
Yeah, and it's good because like what made Final Fantasy VII so great was like it's an amazing story plot too, and all it's like twists and turns into it, and like I think it's right. Like it's still relevant. The plot's still relevant. It like it. I don't. It aged well. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
like if you played the story now, like oh yeah, that's still a super good game. Like the plot's still very interesting. Now it just has like better mechanics and stuff like that too. Yep. Wrap it up.
Yeah,
When's Final Fantasy VII coming out again? It got pushed back. I know that. Final Fantasy
I think
VII.
next month, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's next month. Oh man, this month is gonna be really rough for like games though. Damn. When is it coming out? Sorry, I'm just looking up real quick. Du-du-du-du-du. Huh. It's only given like the original. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
No,
looking
no, no,
too.
no, no. I'm looking for it. Oh, it's actually just called Remake. So it's coming out next month on the 10th, April 10th. And that's going to be really crazy because there's so many good games coming out. Like Animal
Mm.
Crossing comes out on March 20th.
This again.
Hey, man. Bonsai trees, dog. I respect those people who take care of them. I think I said that in the last podcast too. How are things like culturally? Like,
What's
actually,
up?
we can talk about we can cut this part out. Actually, it's fine. Let's just keep it to nerd culture this episode. Yeah, you can cut
We-
this part out.
it's all good. I mean, this is I think the first episode since the first episode since our, I guess, pilot episode where we did just on uh Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was just only focused on one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. I like that.
I like that.
I like that. It's gonna be good. It's very nice. Just keep it nerdy. All right.
All right.
Any last things to say?
No, I'm good. This is refreshing. You're just talking about one thing, different.
Sick. We actually talked a long
I
time about it too. Go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Final Fantasy 7 comes out
Woo.
April 10th. We're both excited to play it.
Sick.
It's gonna be 3 games long. Did you know that, right?
It's a lot of hard drive space. I know.
Okay.